Hello and welcome to Dice and Demons. I'm Emma and today we're going to be taking a look at all these cool new things that have just been revealed by the Warhammer community team. So we'll just dive right in, I think. Shadow, Iron and Broken Realms. Well, that always sounds good, doesn't it? And here we have the Twitch stream. We're not going to be watching all of that because it's an hour and 41 minutes, so we're not going to be watching that. And first off, they showed some things from the Horus Heresy, and I have to admit, I have never really been very interested in the Horus Heresy series, and I don't know anybody really who plays, and I've never seen a game being played either in my local game store or in my hobby club, so it's not right up my alley, but I think it's cool for the people who are really, really passionate about the Horus Heresy, and I know you're out there, so good for you that they have showed some new stuff. And I mean, it looks really cool, but it doesn't really mean a whole lot to me, but I do like the look of these models. I mean, some sort of Space Marine dudes with skull helmets, you can never go wrong with that. And then they just have these vicious looking weapon here. Yeah, it looks cool. I don't think I will ever be getting into the Horus Heresy. As far as I understand, it's wickedly expensive, and I do, after all, have a limited hobby budget. So it's not something I am keen to get really, really enthralled by, because that would get too expensive too quickly, that's for sure. But it's cool that they keep going and make new stuff for it, that's for sure. And then we have some stuff for Necromanda, and let's see the video here. So that looks kind of cool. And Necromanda is kind of the same as Horus Heresy for me. I don't really know anybody who plays, but I must say that the whole setting of the Necromanda game is something that I'm kind of interested in, and I really, really like the look of a lot of the models in the Necromanda range. So let's take a look here closer up. I would say that out of all the models they've shown, this is probably the one I'm least interested in. He's, I mean, it's well done and everything, but it's kind of just a basic dude, to me at least. Perhaps if you know a lot about Necromunda lore, you think this is just pure perfection. And if you do, and I'm completely wrong, you're very welcome to let me know in the comments. And next up we have this guy. This is fun. I mean, these really big claws and the giant hammer and everything. That's nice. And then he's got this face mask that looks sort of like it's a skull, but also like it's laser sunglasses or something. I like that. That's cool. I could definitely use these hands for my orcs, but I don't want to buy an entire Necromunda gang just to get my hands on these claws. All right. So it's just these two guys are showing here. Oh, and there we have one of the ladies of the Necromunda gang, and she looks kind of cool as well. Definitely. And he is sort of running, shooting and jumping all at once, but it looks great. And she looks wicked. I wouldn't want to meet her in a dark alley in the Underhive, that's for sure. Yeah. I must say that the dogs here are my favorite part of this warband. They're just awesome. They look wicked and fun and very, very dynamic. I particularly like this pose where it's like it's leaping across the Underhive floor here. Looks really cool. This is also well done, and I like the face and everything, but it doesn't look as dynamic to me. You know, it's trotting, which is fine, but I think a canter or a gallop looks just more dynamic on a miniature, but perhaps that's just me. Then we have the ultimate 6-shooter. What has 6 arms and 6 guns and will be joining Necron armies everywhere soon? This guy. Let's see. Very silly music. I must say I actually really enjoyed that video. It's almost too silly, but I mean, I like silly stuff, so I don't mind. I also really like the model of Billy the Knit. That was fun. But this new model looks cool. I think it's a fun detail that he's got 6 eyes, one for each of his guns. That's nice, and I really like the pose here. He's standing hunched over, but very intent on hitting his targets. I really like this model. I will definitely have to include him in my Necron army. I think he'll look awesome in bright neon colors. Definitely. Yeah. Looks cool. I have no idea if the rules for this guy will actually be as great as it sounded on the Twitch stream. They talked about he had 6 attacks, 1 for each of his guns, and then he would I think he would hit on a 2 with a strength 6 attack, and then every time he killed a model he would get another attack, so he would be ideal for shooting, let's say, guardsmen or something of an objective. I don't know if he would just be something that was shot off the board before he even got a chance to actually hit those targets, because I think he is a relatively close range model. I don't know, but I like the idea of him, and 6 guns, that's just silly and fun, and hence perfection. And next up we have a couple of books, some add-ons for the both the narrative way of playing 40k and for the match play. And then they also revealed some new things for the match play about terrain, saying that going forward they would ask everyone to bring 3 pieces of terrain for the board, so that you could so that it would be easier for people who, for instance, had a tournament, instead of having to make sure that they had enough terrain to build, let's say, 50 boards, then they could just ask everyone to bring 3 pieces of terrain, and then you could also make sure that the terrain was actually something that went with your army. So I think it's a fun idea, but I'm not sure if it's something that we will actually see play out in practice in real life, if everyone will be expected to bring terrain for hobby clubs or tournaments. I'm interested to see it. It wouldn't be something that I would be opposed to. I like building terrain, and I think it would be fun. On the other hand, I could definitely see it being a bit of a pain, having not only to transport your army, your dice, your books, but also now large pieces of terrain. I'm not sure. I like the idea, and I'm really excited to see how it turns out. I don't think I'll be buying these sets of 40k terrain, just because I like building my own terrain better. But I think it's nice that now that they are having these new rules and you are more expected to bring your own terrain, that they also actually have big boxes of terrain for you to buy, so that we are not all of us expected to sit home with our XPS foam and build something ourselves. Yeah. And then for Warcry, something new for Age of Sigmar, which I think is really nice. I have here on this channel been focusing a lot on 40k recently, and that's because it's just what I've myself been mostly interested in lately. But generally I actually play more Warhammer Age of Sigmar than 40k. So I'm really happy to see Age of Sigmar getting some attention. So let's see here. So, now we have Warcry in underground dungeons beneath Archeon's mighty Varanspire lair, complete with lava. Well, I mean, lava is always cool. I probably won't be getting this box set. I don't play Warcry, and I'm not particularly interested in the game board or the terrain. But I think it's cool that they're coming out with a new sort of start collecting Warcry box, because the other one they did was I think sold out really, really quickly. So I think it's nice that they're doing a new one, so people who missed out on the first one, they can now get one. And there are also 2 warbands in here, and one of them is the Cainite Shadow Stalkers, so for the Daughters of Cain. And I just love these models. I really, really do. I think they're so, so beautiful, so awesome, and creepy as well. Yeah. So dynamic. And I just think it's so easy to see that they're like shadowy assassins. They're coming out from the shadows and they are going to kill you very, very dead, very, very fast. Awesome. I really like this mask. She just looks terrifying and like she's trying to be a little bit silly, but with her demonic mask, and it's just a hideous, terrifying sight to behold. I really like that. I also really like this cape. It's like so easy to see that all their powers are coming from the shadows, and this cape is almost like a shadow in and of itself. Really cool. She looks so dangerous. She's just gonna stab you no matter what you do. Yeah, very, very dynamic Warcry team, I think. And then we have the Science of the Flame. And I think it's cool, you know, the idea that they are sort of on fire. But I have to say they're not my favorite Warcry band. I like her hair, though. It's a cool hairdo. I enjoy that. But to me, they are, if you take away the flames, they look a lot like some of the other war bands we've already seen. Just your basic big dudes who are not wearing a lot of clothes, I think. I can see they're very well done, but they're just not as dynamic to me and not as visually interesting. So, yeah. But I know that a lot of people really, really like them, and there's nothing wrong with them. They're just not exactly my aesthetic, I think. I don't know. This terrain here looks fine. Not as visually interesting, I think, as the first Warcry box set, where you had all these, where you had a lot of steps and bridges and the big giant statue head and stuff like that. This looks more like a basic board game with some added pieces, I think. But it certainly is well done, and it looks great. It's just I don't know. I think they could have done something a bit more interesting with it. And then we have this here for when you are above the catacombs, and it looks just like the Warcry terrain we've already seen, which is fine. It looks cool. And then we have something for Warhammer Underworlds. Dire Chasm. Yeah, so that looks cool. I don't play Underworlds. I'm not particularly interested in games with a lot of cards in it, and to me it looks like more of a board game with cards than a miniatures game. But that's completely fine, and I know that it's supposed to be perhaps easier to do this as a very competitive game. I don't know, but for those who play it, it sure looks cool. I mean, we have perhaps some mortal Slanesh, and then obviously the Lumineth Realm Lords. So that's cool. I don't think I'll be getting this either, just because I'm not really interested in the Lumineth, and I think awesome models, but it's just not an army I'm thinking about collecting. I actually do have a small Slanesh army, but I don't think I'll be getting this either way. What I will be getting, however, is this one. My very, very first army was a Seraphon army, and I still have it. I don't play it much these days, but I still have it, and I'm never ever going to part with it, because it just holds so many memories of getting into the hobby and playing my first games and going to my first tournament and learning how to paint minis and all sorts of things. And here we finally have some new sculpts, and I just think this is awesome. Look at him, he's so sweet, and he's cool, and it's a new Seraphon model. Come on, it's just awesome. I like everything about this. I like that it's a what are they called? Chameleon. What are they called? Well, you know what I mean. So, you know, one of those who can hide, and look at the eyes, the bulging eyes, and he's got a lot of air in his mouth so that he can blow out some of those poisonous darts coming directly from the poisonous frog he's got strapped to his body, all equipped with the darts in its mouth. I don't think this is a fun day for the frog, but I just like everything about this chameleon skink. It's just pure perfection. And look how fun it would be to paint with the scales and the small spikes and everything. Oh wow. I'm totally going to get this warband, whether I can use it for something or not. Just because I'm so thrilled to finally get some new sculpts for Seraphon. That's awesome. So awesome. And then we have some new stuff again for Warhammer Underworld, some new rules and tokens and stuff, which is nice. And then we have something called Shadow and Pain, and let's take a look at that. So Shadow and Pain. So obviously Shadow for the Daughters of Cain, and then Pain for the Slanesh demons. And they're not only demons. I think he looks like a mortal hero, this Lord of Pain. I have to say, I don't quite know what's going on with his shoes or his boots here, but otherwise he's a cool model. He looks intimidating and dangerous, but also like he's he looks like he's taking a sort of a provocative stance almost, which I think is very Slaneshi, and I like that. And I think from this angle he looks kind of cool, but I really like the silhouette here from the side with the blade sticking up from his shoulders. I really like that bit about him. Very cool. And this model here, I'm totally in love with. I have been sort of wanting to do a Daughters of Cain army for a long time, but I'm not really sold on the witch elves. I don't really enjoy their particular aesthetic much, but I do like the snake ladies so much. I really do. And perhaps, you know, a box like this, if I can find someone to split it with who wants the Slanesh half, I mean, it might be sort of a cool way of getting into the army. I don't know, I shouldn't. I really shouldn't. I have way too many projects, but I just so love these models, and now they have a snake lady leader. I mean, she's just so cool, and she is of course very, very reminiscent of the Medusa from Greek mythology, even so far as to have actual snakes in her hair. I hope that she's got an ability where she can turn people to stone when she looks at them. I know they have a Medusa who can do that, but I think they should have... She needs some sort of ability like that. That would just be so, so cool. And I like how her tail is wrapped around this pillar. I don't know if she's destroyed it or if it's been destroyed for a long time. I hope she has just, turned something to stone and then smashed it. That would be really cool. I like everything about this model. It's so much fun. I think it would take forever to paint up an entire army of just snake ladies, but I mean, you could do all sorts of crazy thing with the colors because, they must be poisonous snakes. So, and poisonous snakes often have very bright neon colors. So I'm almost under a sort of moral obligation to paint them, I would say, perhaps. I don't know, but it looks really great. I'm pretty stoked about this box, and particularly about this hero. She's awesome. And then we have a new chapter of something called the Broken Realms. The next chapter in the story about Age of Sigmar, and I think it's cool. I like when they advance the story, and then we have Morathi as the central character, which is also cool. And as they say here, that's it. I really like a lot of the things they've shown off here. It's a bit of a mixed bunch. Some stuff for Horus Heresy and Necromanda and 40k, Age of Sigmar, Warcry, Underworlds, all sorts of things. But I really, really enjoy the fact that they are not only showing stuff for 40k now, but also get around to showing some love to their other games. That's really nice. So, yeah, I'm very, very excited about the Underworld's team with the Seraphon. I'm really excited about the new Daughters of Cain hero. So that's what I'm mainly interested in here. But what about you? Were you really, really excited? Are you a bit disappointed? What were you expecting? And what do you hope to see next time? Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm also pretty excited about the Necron. He looks very cool as well. As I said, too many projects already, and then they show stuff like this. It's not fair. Yeah, it's not fair, and I have no self-control. I'd better just stop watching right now. So, but thank you so much for watching this video. I look forward to hearing in the comments what you are most interested in or what you were most disappointed by, and let's start a discussion in the comments. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.